It's the Phoenix, Arizona weather discussion. This is for Thursday, the 18th of September. I'm Michael Groff. The ingredients are on the table. We've got plenty of moisture out there. You can feel that when you step outside. We've got an upper level low to the west. We've got some increasing winds aloft and atmospheric instability. So if everything can sort of line up over the next 12 to 24 hours, we could see more active weather here over the southwest. Now, we've already had some locally heavy rain, and we have a flash flood watch in effect for parts of southeast California and southwest Arizona. In addition to that, we could see some strong, maybe even severe thunderstorms over parts of the region, with strong damaging straight line winds a possibility, and maybe even a tornado or two. Yeah, we'll give you the details on where and when that could occur. Plus, we've got more forecast uncertainty to talk about later this weekend and early next week, involving some more unsettled weather and temperatures warming up. How hot will they get as we go into next week? And way out toward the end of the forecast period, there's some more shenanigans to get into. There is, needless to say, a ton to get to, and we'll talk about all of it and everything else in just a moment. Hey everyone, it's Michael Groff here to talk to you about your roof. With all the extreme weather we have in Arizona, you need a name you can trust, and that's why you should call Blackstone Roofing Group for all of your roofing needs. Call for your free inspection today. Big or small, they do it all. Tile, shingle, or flat roofing, they can help. Offering free inspections and more. Roofing made easy. Call 602-536-9363 or visit blackstoneroufinggroup.com to schedule your free inspection today. And if you tell them Michael Groff sent you, they'll take $500 off the price of your roof replacement. Again, that's 602-536-9363 or blackstoneroufinggroup.com. All right, let's get into it here. The almanac from yesterday, 101 degrees the afternoon high, 86 was the morning low, 178 are the averages for this time of year. As we take a look outside right now at 12:40 p.m., we've got some clouds out there presently. We're sitting at 91 degrees at Sky Harbor, but look at the dew point way up there at 65. So it, feels pretty sticky out there. Relative humidity 41%. The winds are light and the barometer is falling. Checking the radar across the area right now, some scattered showers and thunderstorms, mainly north and west of the valley. And those extend from parts of Mojave County and up toward the Prescott Valley, westward, over to Mojave County, La Paz, and Southern California as well. And again, that's where our flash flood watch is. We'll show you the specifics on that here in just a moment. But at the moment, things here across southern, at least south central Arizona, are relatively quiet. There's a couple of showers and isolated thunderstorms rumbling about, but at the moment, not much happening. We had a few storms around the valley early this morning, but that's about it. Satellite picture out here across the southwest. There's that upper low spinning to the west of us, and a lot of that moisture, much of that was from what was at one time Tropical Storm Mario, is now moving up across the southwestern United States. Now, we have some drier air aloft that's going to start to work its way into the region later tonight and tomorrow, but we have plenty of low-level moisture, especially below about the 15,000-foot level. And so as a result, we'll still have scattered showers and thunderstorms, and any of those storms could still produce some locally heavy rain for the next, I'd say, 24 hours or so. So this is going to continue, and we have those kind of enhanced winds aloft as well, and that could play a role into any storms that develop becoming locally stronger this afternoon. All right. Here is the watch warning map, and there you can see that flash flood watch for southwest Arizona, including a good portion of Yuma and La Paz counties and into southeast California, notably in Imperial, Riverside, San Bernardino counties, and points to the north and west from there. As we could see, locally heavy rain that leads to flash flooding. We've had some flood advisories around the Imperial Valley and northward along the I-10 corridor earlier this morning. So there's been some heavy rain out there, and there could continue to be some later today. Now, with some of that drier air aloft, we're getting more clear skies, so the sun will be coming out, and so as a result, we could see some unstable air and some more showers and thunderstorms firing up in the heat of the day later this afternoon. All right, the convective outlook for today, we've got a little slight risk of severe storms over portions of Missouri, with the marginal risk for the adjacent states, Oklahoma, Kansas, northwestern Arkansas, and up into southern Iowa. Now, here in Arizona, we've got that low end, level 1 out of 5 marginal risk, and that includes southern Nevada, southern California as well. Basically, people in that marginal risk, right around Gila Bend, Yuma, Quartzsite, Parker, Lake Havasu City, up toward the Las Vegas Valley, and Needles, Blythe, over toward Imperial, and right along kind of the I-8, I-10, the I-40, the 15, and even the West Valley, I suppose, is in that marginal risk of severe storms as well. And the risk from storms, any severe storms would be capable of producing some damaging straight line winds, 58 miles per hour or greater. But the SPC has noted in their discussion from this morning, and I'll just show you this, they say a very low probability for a tornado threat may exist here, particularly in the lower Colorado River Valley. So we can't completely rule out a spin-up tornado or two down there. Does that mean it's going to happen? No. The threat is extremely low, but it is worth mentioning at least because of some lower level winds out of the southeast. We have a little bit of a veering of the wind with altitude down around Yuma and up toward Blythe and those areas, Quartzsite, and even over toward the Imperial Valley, I suppose we could see maybe a stray, brief spin-up tornado. Is it something to get all excited about? Not really, but it's just something that we need to mention on days like this. We don't talk about tornadoes very often on these videos because there's just no real need to, and we don't hype it up or talk about it unless there's a threat, and there is a very, very small threat. Does that mean we're going to see one here in Phoenix? Probably not. Just something that we're going to mention as a small possibility, particularly in southwest Arizona today. So those of you that watch us down in Yuma, just keep your eyes in the skies. That's what we tell you to do. Just be vigilant about things. Certainly the moisture will be around. The more likely threat will be locally heavy rain and maybe some gusty winds from storms. All right, the tropics in the Atlantic Basin. We've got a couple of areas of interest. A wave out there in the East Atlantic, we're not going to worry about that. It's more than likely going to encounter dry air and subsidence and won't be able to get going very well. There's Tropical Storm Gabrielle, and this is having some difficulty getting organized, again, because of some shear. This is going to turn to the northwest, ultimately the north. This may actually wind up staying east of Bermuda, becoming a hurricane sometime late Sunday, maybe Monday. But it would not be a very long-lived system. This is going to be a fish storm in all probability. This will avoid the east coast of the United States. We're not too concerned about that. This has been a very bizarre hurricane season in the Atlantic Basin, particularly because we're at the peak. We've actually just passed the peak of hurricane season, and it's been very, very quiet. Now, we're not really complaining about that. Don't get me wrong. Although there's some people, the people that like the tragedy stuff, the tragedy seekers, I don't know, the ones that want death and destruction on social media, they're disappointed, which I'm not bummed out about that, and let them be disappointed. Meanwhile, in the East Pacific, we do have a little wave out there off the Mexican coast with an 80% probability of developing over the next 48 hours into a tropical depression or storm. That'll be down to the southwest of us. The East Pacific is expected to remain rather active over the next 10 days, and keep that, what I just said, in the back of your mind as we go through modeling here in just a second, because there's some interesting shenanigans that some of the models are cooking up out there very late next week and the following weekend and beyond. All right, the precipitation outlook valid through Thursday morning of next week from the WPC. Rain amounts in Phoenix, not much. Generally a tenth of an inch or less. The heaviest rain will be found across Southern California and right along the lower Colorado River Valley. But that being said, any one spot could get a lot more than what's shown here, as has already happened today. And so do keep that in mind. This just represents an average of what we'll see over the next 7 days. All right, let's get into what's going on with this weather pattern in more detail. To do that, we explore the models. Let's go. This is the GFS. It's the 12Z run, valid at 5 o'clock this afternoon. The upper look at 500 millibars, about 18,000 feet off the ground. Short wave over the Central Plains states. We've got an upper low to the west of us and somewhat of a difluent flow aloft, and plenty of moisture around too. So what it means down at the surface for the rest of the day today, partly sunny. It'll be humid out there. High temperatures in the mid, maybe upper 90s here in Phoenix. Widely scattered showers and thunderstorms will develop. And where they do occur, they could get kind of strong, and the most likely outcome from storms will be some locally heavy rain and some gusty winds, but a few storms could become severe. And again, we do want to mention the prospect of a few storms in southeast California and southwest Arizona that could produce some damaging straight line wind and maybe even a brief isolated tornado. All right, let's take a look at our high resolution guidance. This is the HRRR, the simulated radar product. This is this afternoon at 5 o'clock. And again, it's showing most of the storm activity either to the east of us, northwest of us, and maybe a few storms over southwest Arizona, southeast California. But could we have a stray storm here in the lower deserts this afternoon or this evening, according to the HRRR? Yes. I would not suggest that we have a huge chance of a storm, but yes, a few thunderstorms will be possible this afternoon. The more likely outcome for storms will be tonight. We'll see scattered showers and thunderstorms developing, at least according to the HRRR and some of our other high-resolution guidance in the overnight hours. Lows tonight will generally be in the 70s to near 80, but let me just show you. This is our HRRR at 1 a.m. tonight or tomorrow morning. Again, a few showers and thunderstorms around parts of the valley and heading up to the north and northwest of us. And then as we kind of move it through the day tomorrow, this is 2 o'clock tomorrow afternoon off the HRRR. And it's got some showers and storms and a couple of those on the heavy side moving through the south central deserts, including Phoenix. So we're going to continue this forecast of scattered showers and thunderstorms tonight and tomorrow. About a 40% chance we'll see storms. Not everybody's going to see them. Most of you, if you do, won't get much rain, but a few spots could see some locally heavy amounts, maybe an inch or more, again, in some isolated locations. And again, severe weather, widespread, no. An isolated severe storm is possible. All right, now the other problem we're going to encounter tomorrow is that drier air aloft is going to start to mix down to the surface. It's going to start to, but it's going to take a while. And with the heating of the day, we should probably have more sun tomorrow, so that should counteract at least some of the dry air. We'll have more thermodynamic support tomorrow, so that'll generate more of these showers and storms. So high temperatures tomorrow, very similar to today, mid to upper 90s. Let's keep it going here. This is the synoptic look for tomorrow. And again, yes, scattered showers and storms. They'll be most favored over the higher terrain, but certainly a scattering of storms here in the lower deserts. Let's go to Saturday. We'll start to dry out. Again, that drier air is going to win the battle, kind of, as we'll talk about here in a moment. But for Saturday, it looks like things will be fairly quiet. A few showers and storms are possible, mainly north and east of Phoenix, maybe in the southeastern part of the state as well. The chance of rain mathematically on Saturday, I guess, isn't zero, but we're just not going to mention it in the forecast. High temperatures 95 to 100. All right, here's Sunday. The GFS is pretty insistent that an upper low is going to drop on in toward the southwest. It's going to sit around Southern California and very, very slowly traverse the region in the subsequent few days. And we have really struggled with this forecast for Sunday. Right now, we're going to call it partly sunny with a slight chance of a shower or thunderstorm around. The chance of rain is decent enough. I guess we're going to keep it in the forecast. Again, the more likely outcome is storms over the higher terrain, but a few storms here in the lower deserts cannot be ruled out, particularly in the afternoon hours on Sunday. And high temperatures will still be right around 100, a couple of degrees either side of 100. Monday, the GFS seems to indicate we could still have some scattered showers and thunderstorms around and a few storms here in the lower deserts. High temperatures warming up a little further, highs 99 to 103. And again, I guess we'll keep the chance of rain out of the forecast for Monday. We're just going to call it partly sunny. But if this current trend on the GFS continues, we may have to actually go ahead and add in a chance of storms. And this little upper low, it's a pretty little potent system. So again, maybe a strong storm someplace, particularly over the eastern half of Arizona, not completely out of the question in this scenario. But I will tell you right now, there's not a high confidence in this solution. Let's keep it going. This is Tuesday. At some point, high pressure is going to build in, and we are going to dry out a bit. Maybe a few storms over northern and eastern Arizona on Tuesday, but we should be mostly dry. High temperatures about 102 to 106. Not quite as bullish on temperatures as previous runs have been. The national blend of models has very slightly backed off, so maybe I can breathe a sigh of relief that when I proclaimed we weren't going to have any more 110-degree days, that may actually wind up being the truth. I sure hope it is, as do most of you, I'm sure. 102 to 106 on Wednesday. The sky is mostly sunny. The air is fairly dry. Here is a week from today. This is Thursday, the 25th. And a baggy trough is around, and temperatures are down a little bit. Highs probably closer to 98 to 103, if this is right. Way down at the bottom of your screen, you can't really see it on this graphic, but there's a tropical cyclone depicted by the GFS down there. You can see it a little bit better coming into view as we go to Friday, the 26th. And a very impressive trough sits along and just off the Pacific Northwest coast and dropping on in with a little bit of a baggy trough here in the southwest. And with the lack of high pressure, the GFS says in that setup, our aforementioned tropical cyclone getting drawn up the west coast of Mexico. And this system is moving more northward. And I will tell you, in a scenario like this, yes, if you had a tropical cyclone down there, it may well come up the west coast of Mexico, a la Rosa, a la other, you name it. We've had tons of these systems that have done that. This is the time of year that they could do that. Am I saying this is what's going to happen? Absolutely not. This is 7, 8, 9, 10 days out. There is no skill in forecasting anything like that at this range. What are we looking for? Why do we talk about it then? Because we're looking at model trends. There is a notable subsection of our deterministic and ensemble guidance that seems to think that a notable increase in tropical moisture will again take place way out toward not this coming weekend, but the following weekend and into that next week. And that would be the week of September the 29th. And, if the GFS, if we take this 12Z run at face value, it's got this storm coming up the west coast of Mexico. And I didn't put it in the graphics, but, it's got this thing due south of Phoenix by about Tuesday the 29th, or Tuesday the 30th. And look, that's just way, way too far out there. This might be gone on the next run, or this might be 300 miles west, or it might be 100 miles further to the south. The whole thing is likely to change many, many times, but we're just going to watch for model trends. It's nothing to get worked up about right now, but it certainly can be found in some of our ensembles. And speaking of, let's take a look at rainfall for Phoenix. This goes out through the 2nd of October off the GFS ensemble. You've got 31 members here, and somebody was asking in the comments about the control. Well, they said control number. We say control member, MEMBER. The control member, think of it as it is the member that is has the best initialization parameters, the most accurate initialization parameters. It is what's called unperturbed. And they run that, they sort of use that as the benchmark for the other ensemble members. And you might say, well, then why even bother to use the other ensemble members? Because it is sort of what you would, in layman's terms, it is the best guess of the ensemble. That said, each of these members that you see here, each of these outcomes is determined because each one of these members uses different initialization parameters, algorithms, analogs, physics parameters, many different factors, many different variables to determine an outcome. And there's no one member that's right or wrong all the time or whatever. There's no magical solution. That's why we take the ensemble mean. But see, on this, you got members that are up at 4 inches. You got others that are barely showing anything at all. The ensemble mean is a little under 3/4 of an inch. The control member on this, again, that's what is depicted as the benchmark member, is up over 3/4 of an inch. And the European ensemble is the same thing. Control member is the highest on this. And the mean is certainly lower. Here's the European AI. And again, the AI is very much in line with the GFS ensemble, with the mean about 3/4 of an inch. And again, some individual members, 2, 3, 4 inches. So, and that's why I'm saying there is a subsect of these model members that show a definitive increase in tropical moisture at the end of the month, and September going out like a bang. So it's something that we'll watch, that's for sure. Boy, a lot of interesting stuff has been going on this month. All right, let's take a look at temperatures off the national blend of models. And we're going to warm it up next week at some point. Will we see highs at 105, 106, 107? Very possible. It's going to depend on the evolution of that upper low that may come through. But at this point, yes, a warm up is likely. You knew that we weren't going to be done with 100-degree days, though they do appear to be somewhat limited because way out there toward about 9-10 days or so, I mean, look, the NBM is trending temps back down into the 90s. And again, the national blend of models is even sort of going along with an increase in moisture out there the following weekend. So at about 8, 9, 10 days out. Very interesting. All right, that's going to do it for the Phoenix, Arizona weather discussion for today. My next video is due back here tomorrow morning. Should you happen to enjoy these videos, be sure to subscribe, like, share, click that notification bell, leave those comments, questions, and suggestions. And if you really enjoy what we do here, you want to support the channel, consider clicking that thanks icon below the video here on YouTube. It's called a super thanks. Make that monetary contribution to us, or even better is if you donate via PayPal. groffshow@gmail.com is that PayPal address. It's GROFFshow@gmail.com for PayPal, or our Venmo. And again, all that's linked up down in the description. All right, the executive producer of the Phoenix, Arizona weather discussion is my OAO, the sweetest of all time, the Asian sensation and proprietor of sweetchildaz.com.org and the Facebook page of the same name, Sweet Child Arizona, talking about my Michelle. Check her out. Blogs, videos, everything Michelle related, Adriana related, Kylie related. It's all linked up down in the description below, so check it out. Our streaming station available 24/7, 365. It's called KMGX. We play a ton of music and have a lot of fun with that. Check it out. And also linked up down there is Dan over at the Courtroom Files YouTube channel. The Courtroom Files on YouTube, or courtroomfiles.com for all your Courtroom Files merch. I bring it up because Dan's a personal friend of mine and the channel and a big supporter of ours. But more than that, tonight at 8 p.m. East, 5 p.m. Pacific, you can see Dan, Ashley, Bailey, and yes, me over there on the Courtroom Files channel as we have Sidebar. That's tonight, 8 p.m. East, 5 p.m. Pacific for Sidebar. All right, that's it. Thank you guys so much for watching and all of your continued support. And I would be remiss if I did not mention we did it, or I should say you guys did it. 2,500 subscribers achieved. We've blown past that now, but 2,500 subscribers, another milestone for this channel. You guys are incredible, and I thank you again for everything that you do. It is so greatly appreciated. All right. Please be safe, stay cool, stay hydrated, enjoy the rain where you can find it, and you guys have yourselves a delightful rest of your Thursday.